Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another prediction show. And JP leads by 21-8 now. It was 3-3 at the weekend. I think it was a bit unlucky here, JP, with some of the scores. I'd Galway and Drogheda, for example, which I said 1-1, but it was a 0-0 draw. I had Pats to win 2-1, for example, against Dundalk, and they won 1-0. So your margins were kind of right, if you know what I mean. So it was unlucky not to get a three pointer. Even with 10 minutes to go and it looked like Bowles and Shells got to peter out to 0-0. But then again, I was lucky Shells got a second goal because you predicted 1-0. So
Yeah,
bits
I
and
think I
pieces like
predicted
that. But
predicted Derry. I
what's that?
predicted Derry 2-0. I predicted Derry 2-0 as well. So I
Yeah, so
did.
we were close there. Went for 2-1. That was the one we felt, no disrespected Waterford. That was the one I think we both felt maybe it was between the two of us. I think it was almost like the guaranteed one in a sense. Although I wouldn't say Pats are not guaranteed, but we still went for Pats, the two of us, didn't we? But
Yeah.
that was the one, I suppose. But yeah, look, I kind of thought I done all right this week, even though I only got 3 points. It's one of them weird ones, isn't it? But we'll get into the games for next week, and we might switch it up a bit in terms of JP. I'll go first and then you go first, kind of a thing, rather than one of us go first, if that makes sense. Like, because I think I think too much when you give your score, which probably doesn't do me any favors whatsoever. But yeah, so Bohemians and Derry, we'll start there. I'll actually take this one first, in fairness. And obviously, Devine is gone, and there'll be a lot of people thinking there'll be a manager bounce in this, or an interim bounce, so to speak. I don't know. I don't think there's been much wrong with Bo's kind of fight or attitude. I wouldn't have said that in the Shells game, if I'm honest with you, so we'll see. The pitch isn't in great condition, which might help Bo's a little bit because obviously the way Derry are playing, etc. Derry have had 2 draws, by the way, away from home this season too. So yeah, no, I think Derry will still win this game. I think it might be kind of tight because I think Bowes will probably sit back a little bit. People might expect Fenlon to play in the front foot, but is it more difficult to predict because Devine is gone and Fenlon's in or such or whatever? But I trust Derry the way they're playing at the moment, so I'm going to go for Derry to win this game by 2 goals to 1. What are you thinking?
I think Derry win this game, Keith. Yeah. Regardless of who the manager is. Um. I think maybe is that why Bohemians have acted now is because they don't want to begin in the Derry game. With the status quo. Um. It's what Pat Fenlon can do on the training pitch, and the next few days is they get a reaction out of his team. Is the big question. I think he'll know that the quality of Derry compared to the quality of
Mm.
players he has is means that he won't be able to play in the front foot. Probably have to sit in and,
Although
and
you
try
might
and
think some of the signings that he made are absolutely world beaters, to be fair.
I don't think even Pat Fenlon, even though he was the signings, I don't think he'll be that foolish. I
Naive,
think
yeah.
he'll sit in and try and soak up pressure and maybe hit Derry on the counter or get a set or off a set piece. But
Mm.
I think with Pat Hoban, Derry have a different animal.
I was going to say JP, Pat Hooban likes a goal against Bohemians, but then again, he likes a goal against nearly
But
everybody.
against everybody, doesn't he? Even against Derry, he loved to go. So I'm glad that he's scoring for Derry than against us now.
Mm.
But um, I think this is the type of game that suited the likes of Pat Hoban, where Derry are going to see a lot of the ball. And I think with him up front, um, I think we're going to win this game. I think we'll get another. We haven't lost away from with 2 draws away from home.
Mm-hmm.
Unlucky, probably we were a bit unlucky in both of them. So I think this will be our first away one. I'm going to say 2-0 Derry.
2-0 Derry, and I've gone 2-1 Derry. Dundalk and Waterford, I'll let you take this one first.
Yeah, so obviously Dundalk haven't made the best of starts. They lost against Galway a few weeks ago at home. So Waterford have made a pretty decent start. They've won away at Drogheda as well this season. Um, Disappointed with them on Friday night the way they played against Derry, but honestly, I can see them going here and winning. Um, just the way Dundalk are playing, unless Dundalk Stephen O'Donnell changes it up a wee bit and sits in and looks for a bit of fight from his team rather than playing on the front foot and trying to win matches, which we all want to do. But sometimes we have to recognise it. We maybe don't have the players to do that, but uh, I think Waterford's pace with Asamoah and Connor Parsons, and then Patrick Gomman, we know he knows where the net is. So yeah, I think Waterford they'll win this one 3-1.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, you're looking at it and you're thinking, can you lose three in a row, or you'll have to got some kind of fight or something in them. But like you were saying, Parsons and Asamoah weren't in the game against Derry. But the way Dundalk playing, I can't see a change with that high line. Surely they're going to expose that, the two of them players. And it's, as you say, Amond is well capable of finishing when he's in the right position. So, like, I don't want this kind of thing of to let me skew my prediction that, oh, Dundalk will hardly lose three in a row at home. And they might not. But in reality, logically, if you look at it in your own head, you're thinking Waterford have the players exposed. They have a more settled midfield. I know they didn't perform against Derry, but at the same time, this is Dundalk. I agree with you. I think Waterford go to. By the way, I think if Waterford go and win this, I think potentially that's the end of Stephen O'Donnell. Really, honestly, 3 home defeats in a row, especially. You know,
Unheard of, isn't it?
yeah. So,
Even when they were struggling under O'Donnell, mine there last year, I think they'd still only lost one game or something in 2 seasons under him. Like so, it,
to
it's
get
unheard
anything
of.
out of this game, Dundalk are probably going to have to score 2 or 3 goals, to be honest. And
Yeah,
even at that, I find that a little bit difficult. It could happen, you don't know. But no, I go with you, bud. You went 3-1, but Waterford 2-1 win for me. I think Waterford will win 2-1 at Oriel Park here. Galway United, I'll start with this one, and Shamrock Rovers. And we mentioned the pitch and the Premier Division show, etc. and that. But I did say a couple of weeks ago, coming into the Sligo game, that I'm sure Shamrock Rovers will win one of their next 2 games. So I have to back them here for that reason. And, you know, you kind of have to, But look, Galway are tough to beat in Eamon DC. They're going to fire in long balls. Rovers will know what to expect. I do think they might be better defensively. Pico, another week again in. He knows how to deal with those situations, Lee Grayson beside him and stuff. But they just need that cutting edge that they haven't had pretty much that you've mentioned. And they do have the players like Dara Burns and it was the same last year though. Dara Burns, Gaffney, Burke, all capable of doing damage. Kenny as well. But they just needed to click a little bit. But yeah, I think they'll win it, but I think they'll nick it. I think they'll nick it 1-0 Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I think.
By the way, we're set for 3 away wins in a row here too. I've just noticed.
I think what they did last year was they shared the goals around, but they were able to do that because our teams didn't have the cutting edge up front either. But I think when you look at Derry, they Patrick Hogan, who's going to score the majority of probably Derry's goals this season. Maybe not the majority, but he'll score a lot of big goals and big games for them. And that's what Shamrock Rovers need at the minute. They just need a win to get themselves going. Whether it's an OG or whatever, in the last minute they get the 3 points. But I was thinking 1-0 for Shamrock Rovers as well. I can't see them not winning this game, but I don't see them going to Galway and winning 2 or 3. And they could well do. They're very much capable of it, but I think they'll win it 1-0.
Yeah, St Patrick's Leg Shelbourne, which is obviously a Dublin derby, and interestingly, the Shelbourne are obviously top, but at the moment, 7 points ahead of Pats in the league, which is mad to think about. And it feels like a game. You're going to take this one first, but it feels like a game that, hey, early in the season, but Pats kind of have to win in a sense because you see them and Shelbourne as maybe at the end of the day, and maybe even Sligo as an option for the top 3, if you like, in my opinion. So it is a big game at Richmond Park, isn't it? So how are you seeing this one?
Yeah, it's massive already, isn't it? Like at the start of the season, we were looking at Derry and Rovers being the top 2, and Pats and Shelbourne being the 2 teams that was going to compete for third spot and the guaranteed European spot. And Shelbourne have got the upper hand so far. Pats, as we know, have lost 3 in a row. And then they'll not want to lose 2 double derbies already at the start of the season, having lost the Bulls a couple of weeks ago. Shelbourne, I think, they'll be Shelbourne. They'll approach a game the way they always do. they'll sit it in. They'll be hard to beat. They'll try and get past to break them down, and they'll hope to maybe hit them on the counter or get a set piece or whatever. But I'm going to say 1-1 for this game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I actually agree with a lot of the points you're making there. I do think they'll sit in. I think it'll be a case of Pats having the ball, but can they play with the ball at speed, really? Because you're going to have to do that against Shelbourne. Sometimes Pats can be a bit slow, and like you would have seen it, for example, in Derry for a good hour of that game. Anyway, Pats can keep the ball, but a lot of it is lateral or slow or deep. You know what I mean? There has to be more penetration in their play. And as you said in the Premier Division show, I think it's a big test in that way for Pats. I think Pats will keep to the system that they play against Dundalk in a very similar starting 11. Mulroney may come in for McClellan, possibly. But I actually don't see Pats losing this game. That's the weird thing. I actually don't see them losing the game, but it's important for them that they win the game. It could easily be a draw. It will be tight. It's going to be tight. People looking at this going, you got to say Pats or a draw. I think Pats might nick it, actually. I think they might nick it in a very tight game, give Shelbourne the first defeat of the season. I'll go Pats 1-0. Finally, Sligo Rovers and Drogheda at the showgrounds. Am I giving you this one first? No, I can go first with this one because first the last one. Sligo have a very good record against Drogheda, excuse me, recently at the showgrounds as well. And I've said it on multiple occasions, they're playing well and don't have the points they deserve. Off the bat, I think Sligo will beat them, actually. I think Drogheda won't be easily bet, but I think Sligo will beat them here. I'll go for 2-1 Sligo, actually.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself too, because I don't think Sligo have a home one yet this year, haven't they? Not they've drawn to and lost the other to Shelbourne, like so. But
that's right.
Drawn
they've had
again,
Derry and Shamrock Rovers, I suppose, as well, haven't they?
And they've lost to Shelbourne, like so. They if they can apply the same kind of performance levels that they did against Shamrock Rovers in this game,
that'll be the test for them a little bit, actually, won't it? To see if they can perform the same levels in a game that where maybe fans might expect them to win, let's say, as opposed to Derry at home and even Shelbourne at home as such.
And not just their fans, but outside, the likes of me, they're probably expect they put on a better performance now at home against the likes of Drogheda. And where before we were at the start of the season, we were like, oh, Sligo are going to struggle, whatever, and they proved us wrong this far, and they'll look to continue to do it. I think they'll win it 2-1. So 2-1.
2-1. I think we've two different this week, kind of, in terms of results. We've gone for, just look at quickly there, we've both gone for Sligo wins anyway. We've both gone for Shamrock Rovers wins, both gone for Waterford wins, and actually both gone for Derry wins. So the only one we actually have different as such is Pats and Shelbourne. So that could be key, but of course we've gone for some different scores as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. 21-8, it's a good lead, JP, still. I'm happy to have consolidated actually as such. I didn't go further behind, so we'll leave it there, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments. Give us your own predictions. Are you finding it difficult yourselves to make predictions at this time of the season? Subscribe to the channel, and thanks again. Cheers, JP.
Thanks, Keith.